Yo, what is up, wrestling fam? Welcome back to the Wrestling Heat, and ladies and gentlemen, I got my WWE WrestleMania 37 predictions about to go down in a bit. Will I get them right? Will I get my predictions wrong? Find out in this WWE WrestleMania 37 predictions. Let's get into it in about 3, 2, 1, baby, yeah! Alright, wrestling fam, the very first matchup that I have for us tonight for the WrestleMania 37 predictions is we got the tag team turmoil match with Naomi, Lana taking on Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose versus Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott versus Tamina Snuka and Natty. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I don't really care for this match. I just think it's bad booking on WWE's part to try to get all the women in the WWE on the main card onto WrestleMania. But who's going to win? Who's going to lose? After with what I've seen from Smackdown, I'm going to have to go with Natty and Tamina Snuka to win on the first night against Liv and Ruby, Brooke and Rose, and Naomi and Lana, even though I'd love to see Naomi with that tag team women's belt across her waist, baby, yeah! But that is my predictions. Natty, Tamina, with the W, the Tamina train is coming on through, baby. Alright, wrestling fam, my next predictions for WrestleMania 37, and this goes for the match with Seth Rollins, the mighty man bun messiah, the mighty meat stick, taking on Cesaro, the Swiss Superman, the Swiss Cyborg, the man that can spin you about 1,000,000 times and not get dizzy. This match is going to be good. I mean, look who we got in the ring. We got Seth, we got Cesaro. We'll probably see about 1,000, swings by Cesaro to Seth. And with that being said, I want to go with my boy Cesaro for the W against the man bun messiah, Seth Rollins, the mighty meat stick. I don't think it would hurt him one bit. To take an L on WrestleMania, I mean, come on, man. This is the very first one-on-one match that Cesaro's ever had at WrestleMania in WWE. Don't be scared to give our boy Cesaro a W at WrestleMania. So, Cesaro, I got your back, man. I hope you win, but I want to be mad if Seth won. But for right now, we're giving the W to Swiss Cyborg, the Swiss Superman, Cesaro. And alright, wrestling fam, the very next match that I have for my predictions is this tag match between Damien Priest and Bad Bunny taking on John Morrison and The Miz. We've seen the shenanigans with the paint and the Bugatti, and then Bad Bunny getting thrown around by John Morrison and The Miz. And, Bad Bunny, he's kind of like the guest, so including we got Damien Priest, which is, chiseled like a Greek god. But with this matchup, I'm going to have to go with Bad Bunny and Damien Priest picking up the W against John Morrison and The Miz. And honestly, I don't think it really affects John Morrison or The Miz. I find this more of a, comedy match than anything. I think Bad Bunny is actually going to pin The Miz. But yeah, I'm going with Bad Bunny pinning Miz, giving Damien Priest and Bad Bunny the win. So, that is my prediction. Alright, wrestling fam, the next matchup that I have for you is a matchup that I don't think any of us wanted at all, but WWE was like, here you go, just take it anyway. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a cage. And for Braun Strowman's sake, I'm going to give him the W over Shane McMahon, even though I think Shane McMahon could possibly do some trickery and some fucketry and cause, Braun to lose and him to win, which I hope Braun Strowman wins and Shane McMahon loses and gets locked in the closet for a little while and just left there until, he's needed again. But for the sake of Braun Strowman, I'm giving him the W over Shane McMahon. Let me know if y'all even give two tosses about this matchup. Alright, wrestling fam, this next matchup is a tag matchup, and it is for the Raw Tag Team Championships, with the New Day, the 11-time champions, taking on AJ Styles and Omos. This would be Omos's very first match ever in the WWE, and this is going to be pretty interesting on how they handle this match, but going on who's going to win, who's going to lose, and I think we might be seeing some new Raw Tag Team Champions with Omos and AJ Styles. That's who I picked to win against the New Day. I don't know, the New Day could pull out another one, but I think we might be seeing some new champions. Let me know down below, how do you think my predictions are going so far? Let me know down in the chat. Thank you very much. Alright, wrestling fam, the very next matchup that I have for you is for that Raw Heavyweight Championship, and that is between Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. This matchup ain't gonna be pretty. It's just gonna be fist to flying, boots to asses, and a lot of sweat and a lot of man beef in the ring. But who's the winner? Who's gonna be the loser? This could honestly be a 50-50, but I think they still want to give Drew the feel-good moment since he wasn't able to get it last year with the whole COVID and no fans, and now they got fans, which are probably going to spread COVID, but I want to give Drew the win, even though I think Bobby Lashley could also be the winner. I wouldn't be mad at it. To be honest, either or could win, and I would be happy, but I want to go with Drew over Bobby, just because I think Drew deserves it just a little bit more, even though I know Bobby definitely deserves it. But we will see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. And alright, wrestling fam, the very next matchup that I have for you, and it is for the Smackdown Women's Championship, and that is Sasha Banks taking on Bianca Belair. I know, Mr. Suds, you would be happy for this match, but we gotta pick a winner and we gotta pick a loser. In this matchup, I think more than likely we are gonna be seeing a good-ass match, and also a new SmackDown Women's Champion and Bianca Belair. Sorry, Mr. Suds, but I gotta go with the EST of the WWE. I gotta go with Bianca taking out Sasha, even though I love Sasha Banks. She always look mighty delicious, but I gotta go with Bianca. That is my predictions, and I'm sticking to it. Alright, wrestling fam, the very next matchup that I have for you is for the Women's Tag Team Championships, and they are held by Nia Jax and Shannon Baszler, and they'll be taking on the winner of that big women's tag match from earlier. We're going to go with a coin flip here. Heads, Nia Jax and Shannon Baszler retain, and tails for the winner of the big women's tag match from earlier. So we are going to flip it, and it is heads for Nia Jax and Shannon Baszler to retain, even though I think they might be giving whoever wins the big tag match, they might be giving them the win, but I'm going to go ahead and give Shannon Baszler and Nia. This might cost me my my reign here, but we're going to go with it, and I'm going to stick with it, folks. The very next matchup for my predictions is going to be Sami Zayn, the Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, taking on Kevin Owens, the guy that's trying to beat some sense into his friend. But who's going to win? Who's going to lose? Logan Paul is also going to be there. He could be a factor, but I'm just going to go ahead and say Kevin Owens beats Sami Zayn. It's going to be a good match regardless, but we got to have a winner. We got to have a loser. So I'm going to go ahead with Kevin Owens getting a win over Sami Zayn, causing him to go even more nuts than he already is going. So, KO with the win, Sami with the loss. And alright, wrestling fam, the very next matchup is for the U.S. Championship that is held by Matt Riddle, and he is taking on Sheamus, which is a complete and utter badass. And this match is going to be very stiff, very hard-hitting, and I'm looking to it very, very much. Who's going to be the winner? Who's going to be the loser, though? I think this could also be a 50-50 chance. I would love to see Sheamus win, but I think with all the glitz and glam that they gave Matt Riddle, whenever he kicks off his flip-flops, the pigeons, or whatever the hell they are, come flying out of his feet, and I think he's just grown too powerful for the great and almighty Sheamus. So I'm going to go ahead and say Matt Riddle retains his championship, even though I would love to see Sheamus win, which I think he might win, actually, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to Matt Riddle, the almighty stoner himself. Alright, the very next matchup for my predictions is for the Intercontinental Championship, which is held by Big E, and he is taking on Apollo. This matchup could be 50-50, to be completely honest with you, but I really think that with what they've been doing with Apollo, giving him a new look, going with the full-on, heel aspect, and I think he's been doing a pretty good job of it, even though that freaking accent is terrible. But who's going to win? Who's going to lose? And I am going to pick Apollo for the win, and Big E Langston could possibly be up for a possible run for a heavyweight championship run, I should say. So, with that being said, winner, Apollo. Big E taking the loss, unfortunately, but I am going to stick by my predictions, and that is so. Alright, next up in my predictions, this matchup right here is going to be weird, is going to be wacky. It is the crispy fried Fiend taking on the Viper, Randy Orton, and Alexa Bliss is going to be on the Fiend side, and it has been said that she could be debuting a new look, a new mask. That could be a thing, just throwing it in there. But who's going to be the winner between the Fiend, crispy fried version, taking on the man that burned him alive, Randy Orton, the Viper? I'm going to go ahead and say the Fiend is going to topple the Viper and pretty much cut off the head. Alexa Bliss said that they're going to murder him. So look forward to a live murder on Peacock. But all honestly, Fiend winning over Randy Orton, and I'm sticking to it. And alright, wrestling fan, the very next matchup that I have for you is for the Raw Women's Championship, and it is around my waifu's waist, by the way, and her name is Asuka, and she'll be taking on the badass Rhea Ripley. This matchup, I think, is going to be pretty hard-hitting. It's going to be a good match, and I honestly can't wait for it. But who's going to be the winner? Who's going to be the loser? Unfortunately, I think my waifu's time is up, and Rhea Ripley's time is now. So I'm giving Rhea Ripley the win over my waifu, even though I don't want to. But all good things come to an end. And I think Asuka, she has done her thing for a very long time, and I am not mad at it. I love my waifu, and unfortunately, I think it's coming to an end with Rhea Ripley with the W. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the very next matchup that I have for you for my predictions for WrestleMania 37, it is for the Smackdown Heavyweight Championship, which is held around the bark, the head of the table, the big dog, Roman Reigns' waist, and it is a three-way match. He's also be taking on the rated R superstar, and Edge, and also taking on the Hemp Daddy, Goat Face Killer, Daniel Bryan, DB, the Yes Man. But who's going to be the winner? Who's going to be a loser? There's got to be a loser. There's got to be a winner. And boy, oh boy, is this one hell of a, try to pick because these three wrestlers are very good at what they do. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with Edge. He was the Royal Rumble winner. He came back after 10 years, and I'm going to go stick with it. So, with that being said, Roman Reigns could also, pick up the W, and we could boo him even more. But there's also been a little birdie out there saying that Daniel Bryan's going to win, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it 100%. Edge, one last run with the title. Am I right? Am I wrong? I guess we'll find out when WrestleMania comes along. And thank you for your watch time, folks. And, I appreciate it very much. Much love from day one-ish, from YouTube to Periscope, wherever you're coming from. Thank you for watching. It's been a blast. Will my predictions be right? Will they be wrong? Like I said, we'll find out at WrestleMania 37, baby! So, with that being said, don't drink and drive, don't text and drive. I miss you, Mr. Suds. And forever and always, ladies and gentlemen, just keep it a little bit too sweet, baby, yeah. And this is Deuces.
Back is back, cause I'm mass destruction. Guess who's here? The bad boys of wrestling.